black babies are dying in disproportionate numbers, and we have to do something to stop that.
We want to decrease the low birth weight and high infant mortality in the Charlottesville area.
I need a safe, loving environment when I make my grand arrival.
How am I gonna do this? Who am I gonna tell? Like, I'm not ready for this, really.
You don't know about it, but you know about it. But you don't understand what's really behind it.
Healthy people create a healthy community.
The components of the We Are Empowered project is street theater, interviews with medical professionals to make the community more aware of infant mortality and low birth weight.
We recently conducted a community health assessment in Charlottesville, and we did find that the infant mortality rate for African American infants in Charlottesville is 3 times as high as the infant mortality rate for white infants.
It's a very heartbreaking thing to give birth to an infant who's about as long as this pen and weighs, you know, just a couple hundred grams. And that's where we need to shift our attention.
And when we see infant mortality rates that are particularly high, we have to look at that and wonder, you know, what's going wrong that a group of women in our community aren't having as good a results as another group.
First of all, I believe take care of the women. That's been the real problem, and we need to, so it's something that you do not just when the woman's pregnant, but when she's a little girl, when she's a teenager. We got to take care of women and their families throughout their entire life course so that you have healthy women, because healthy women have healthy babies.
The elements that it takes for a woman to have a healthy pregnancy are, in a sense, indicators of what's available in the community.
The reasons for the disparity between the infant mortality rate among African Americans are this myriad sorts of things, but I think it basically boils down, if you had to put it into a nutshell, I believe it has everything to do with racial discrimination.
But we also have to look at it from a broader sense. Do we have safe neighborhoods and good educational systems and family support and social support for African American women to be able to live in healthy environments and to access what they need to be able to be healthy?
I would recommend to any pregnant woman that they seek prenatal care as early as they are able to identify their pregnancy, and to attend all of their prenatal appointments.
I think she needs to have a doctor, midwife, someone who she sees on a regular basis for her prenatal care.
The 3 months that I was pregnant, I had no prenatal care or nothing, but I realized that I'm gonna need it. So once my mother found out and everything, I caught up with all my prenatal care, visit the doctor the way I was supposed to.
If women are concerned with stresses in their life, such as substance abuse concerns or intimate partner violence, or any kind of significant life stress, that they talk with their health care provider about that.
I would highly encourage a woman to, if she is smoking, to quit. It's been tied to low birth weight in infants. And not drink alcohol. We don't know exactly, no one knows the exact dose, so to speak, of alcohol that will give you fetal alcohol syndrome, but we do know that at some point or another it can do that, so it's just best to avoid it during pregnancy.
Certainly follow your doctor's recommendations for taking prenatal vitamins and folic acid. Attend to good nutrition.
Gaining the appropriate amount of weight, eating the appropriate foods is a key part of having a healthy pregnancy.
Get a doctor or midwife, eat right, don't smoke.
And again, I really would encourage women to talk with their health care providers about those struggles so that we can help them to get through their pregnancy in the healthiest way possible for them.
I visited the doctor the way I was supposed to, took all my prenatal vitamins, and I just focused on eating healthy, trying to prepare for a healthy baby.
Oh, there's a huge role for fathers to play in promoting a healthy experience for the baby. Being a positive support to the mother, being an engaged parent, assisting with the day-to-day care of the baby is very, very important, because the 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week care of a baby is a huge job for a woman of any age in any circumstance.
The father can be supportive by learning about the pregnancy and learning what it takes to have a healthy outcome.
I think that fathers of babies should be involved in the prenatal care. I'm always glad when I see the father of the baby coming in for the prenatal visits. It's an indication of how involved they're going to be once the baby's born, that they're interested in finding out what to do to stay healthy during the pregnancy. And a lot of what we talk about in prenatal care is what to do once the baby's here. It's really about how to parent this child.
When my wife was pregnant, I went with her to her prenatal appointments, make sure she was taking her vitamins, you know, make sure she was eating right, or eating at all.
Provide her with a healthy environment, provide her with a home and a diet and a home that's free of violence, a home that's free of smoke.
Be very supportive, because, you know, anything can happen in pregnancy that can surprise you. Even afterward too, after the pregnancy, make sure that you're doing the right things with the baby, and make sure that the mother is doing very well afterwards.
The father should certainly be there when the baby's born so he can participate in that joy and bond with the baby, and then when the baby goes home, participate in feeding the baby and caring for them. It takes a partnership and it takes an extended family, so the role of the father is really critical.
First-time fathers, second-time fathers, even third-time fathers, make sure that you are very supportive in the female life. Make sure that you are reducing the stress that she have. Just be supportive.
We need to, and I'm speaking of us African American males, need to play more of a role in our communities and be there for our families and for our children.
We have lots of agencies in Charlottesville available to provide services to pregnant women. We have several home visiting agencies. So for women who have higher risks of poor outcomes, or if it's a first-time pregnancy and they don't have a lot of support, there's lots of different places they can go.
I went to the Teen Pregnancy Center.
For teenagers, we have the Teen Health Center here at UVA. We have our health department, which provides support services and provides nutritional support services through the WIC program. These programs help to connect women to all kinds of resources for basic needs like housing and food and income, healthy families, Families First, and the CHIP program. For most of the programs I'm talking about, there is no financial burden to the mother at all.
There's also our social services department. They can provide help with financial assistance and health insurance assistance. So for low-income women, that's an important resource to take advantage of.
Resources that they can take advantage of should be available to women who are pregnant, and it should be posted up in the communities that they are targeting as high-risk areas. And it should be no barriers, language, economics, anything.
I think that the more obstacles you have to overcome, the more difficult it's going to be to have a healthy pregnancy. And so if you're low income, if you don't have a high school education, if you're living in an area where there's a lot of crime and so you're afraid to go out and exercise and walk around, if you don't have a lot of social support, if you already have other children to care for, the more of those things that happen, the harder it's going to be to have a healthy baby. And I think what we're seeing in Charlottesville is that in some neighborhoods, we have women who have more of those obstacles to overcome. And that's where we're seeing these issues.
You start looking at life a little different. Now that I have a baby, I feel that I want to stay in school. I want to do what's right for me and my child. And I feel that she helped me grow up a little bit more. I matured a lot more.
So there must be something unique that is leading to those poor health outcomes. So we know that that means, in the broader sense of the community, we don't have all of the pieces in place that really are needed to ensure that women get all of the health services that they need.
I think it needs to be a big discussion within the community about it, both in the Hispanic and the Black communities. I think that since it's been out in the public about it, a lot of people are trying to put something together to bring the information to the community.
I would want to leave people with the message that the individuals, women out there, have some responsibility to take care of themselves. But we as a community have a responsibility to take care of women, like I said before, throughout their entire life course, from the time they're infants until they're having babies of their own. And in that way we'll ensure that they are healthy and that they will have healthy babies and we'll have a healthy community.